plans. Security plan is a document stating detailed procedures for prevention and response to security threats. It must include different procedures for different security levels. According to SOLAS and the US Maritime Security Bill, a ship security plan must be available on all ships of 500 gross tonnage and upwards engaged on international voyages, including high-speed crafts and mobile offshore drilling units, after the 1st of July 2004. A restricted area means a space that is essential to the operation, control or safety of the ship. Typical restricted areas are the bridge, the cargo control room, the engine control room, engine room, spaces with access to potable water tanks, pumps or manifolds. The number and nature of the restricted areas depends on the current security level. It is up to the management company of the ship to set the policies for what type of weapons are allowed on board the ship. This must be clearly stated in the ship's security plan. Any weapon that is not listed in the ship security plan is not allowed on board at any time. You must notify the ship security officer immediately if you suspect there is a prohibited weapon on board. The ship security plan must include procedures and responses to possible threats. These procedures might include the following actions: securing all access to the ship to prevent intrusion, performing emergency shutdown of main engines to prevent unauthorized operation, securing non-critical operations to focus attention on response, alerting ship and shoreside authorities of an incident, rendering assistance to a nearby ship undergoing an unlawful act that threatens its security, responding to the detection of stowaways or intruders, repelling boarders, addressing a malfunction of onboard security equipment, screening the underwater hull, or searching the ship in response to bomb threats, specifying the kind of communications to use in the event of a breach of security, an unlawful act, or other emergency, coordinating with waterfront facility response procedures. The declaration of security is a checklist to be checked by the ship security officer in cooperation with the local port facility security officer. The declaration of security indicates whether a ship and a port facility are operating at the same security level and requires procedures for dealing with any inconsistency. For ships that frequently call upon the same port, a declaration of security for each call is not required if the ship and port have an agreement that all security measurements are taken before arrival. Certain operations on the ship are more vulnerable to hostile attacks than others. These operations are called key shipboard operations and include cargo and storing operations, navigation, machinery operation and steering control, crew and passenger safety. There can be many different threats to the security of a ship, and the ship security plan must include responses for all possible threats. Some examples of possible threats are damage to or destruction of the ship or of a port facility, for example by explosive devices, arson, sabotage or vandalism. Hijacking or seizure of the ship or of persons on board. Tampering with cargo, essential ship equipment or systems or ship stores. Unauthorized access or use, including presence of stowaways. Smuggling weapons or equipment, including weapons of mass destruction. Use of the ship to carry those intending to cause a security incident and or their equipment. Use of the ship itself as a weapon or as a means to cause damage or destruction. Attacks from seaward whilst at berth or at anchor. And attacks whilst at sea.